just know that you are the best there is, the best there was, and the best there ever will be. And just know that this is the Hitman, and you're watching Papa Pete.
Papa Pete, the old ass gamer. Papa Pete, the old ass gamer. If you haven't grown up by the age of 50, you don't have to.
And here we are, guys. The live stream post 125. First one of those I'd made in a few months. I've been getting kind of slack, but it was a pretty special occasion for this one. First of all, I welcome my special guest today. Right beside me, which way we're going to point in the right direction? I will. I'll point in the right direction.
This way.
William Moeller. It's hard, isn't it, Luke? William Moeller from Elektronite. Thank you so much for joining us from Thailand. Right now. What hour of the day is it there?
It's 7:22 a.m. on Wednesday morning.
Wednesday morning. Wow, that's so cool. When you told me that's what time it was going to be, I said, thank you for coming on, because that's early.
I'm not a morning person, as my wife will.
Yeah, well, listen, I can't wait till the day I don't have to be a morning person. I seem to get up pretty early in the morning now. And of course, down below, Luc Boudreau, the Intellivision Collector himself.
Everybody.
Thanks for joining in. Of course, you and I talked about this. We wanted to do it because it was a pretty special announcement. I was really happy to make in that video right at the sponsorship spot. Huh? You tell us a little bit about that?
Absolutely, yeah. So Intellivision Collector back online again, off for almost a year. Wasn't due to no business. It was the opposite. I was too busy for a while trying to run the home life, the family, which is most important of all. And I've managed to come to a place in my life where I can actually do both. So if you go to the site right now, www.intellivisioncollector.com, it's not up, but as soon as this live feed goes down and we're ending it, it's going online.
Right on.
Let me tell you, there's a lot of good things on there. I've collected about 400 new items that I have not announced to anybody that I've been putting up in the product category. I got everything from Diner to Dig Dug to
there you go.
Sears games to Elektronite games, homebrew. I got all kinds of homebrew up there. There's going to be more soon as well. A lot of things for everybody.
That is friggin' awesome. I might have to end this stream early just to go check it out myself. Right on. Who do we got in the chat here now? Got Lance. Hey, Lance, JD. Savater, good to see you guys. Thanks all for joining in, and get over there to check that out. So Luke's got the store opening back up. William joined in because are you guys? We'll talk about some of the games that you have available, William. But what are you two going to be working together in the near future?
Yeah, I'm going to be supplying Luke with games.
Yeah,
so
absolutely.
all the Elektronite stuff and whatever I make for other people, I can send to him.
Yeah.
So things like Defender of the Crown, Tail, that's it. Games like Infiltrator.
Oh yeah, that's what fall release, right? Late fall release.
And Star Mercenary.
Oh, can't wait for that one to come out.
Yeah, that one's is ready to go. I just Cat Attack. This one.
Hold that up.
Yeah. I love watching your kitty cat during the videos.
She always gravitates right in here and has to be up in there when I'm talking to anybody. She likes being close at hand.
And then there's this one, AF.
Oh, that was the card release only, right?
Yeah, this was a card only release.
And now we got the box.
Here's the box, yeah.
So tell us a little bit about the card only releases. Like when you did that, and why do you do that, Willie? There's good strategy involved with doing it that way, isn't it?
Well, it wasn't meant to be done that way.
Well, no.
What happened was when I moved to Thailand, I partnered up with Tim Neighbor in California.
Okay. Yeah.
basically I sent him all my materials, or most of my materials that were in Burlington, and he continued to sell product when I lived over here, and would send me the money, and we would partner, just like I was partnering with Luc. Eventually we decided that hey, we should start making new games. It's been a long time, and when I can't contractually say how many Boulder Dash copies that I sold, but it was more than when I started up again in 2018. So I released things like Steamroller and Hoverbubber. I finished Hoverbubber. I got Steamroller out, and then I finished Miner 2049er. So I had no idea how the sales were going, but they were just going okay. Like around 100 copies. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
I see. It's very nice. So there was only about 100 copies being sold, and I didn't know that. So we sort of I ended up finding a really good programmer who suddenly started deciding to make new games. His name was Oscar Kenneth Albero, and he's from Spain, and he did a Wonder Boy clone. Okay. So what I said to him is, I go, hey, I can't release it as a Wonder Boy game because Elektronite games have to be, infringing free,
right?
Because I make deals with companies like First Star Software, with Bill Hogue. Like, these are legitimate licenses, so I can't be putting other stuff on Elektronite titles. So we came up with the idea of doing Ninja Odyssey, and so of course these games aren't cheap, right?
No, not at all.
So I was paying them a fair bit to do some quality work, and essentially then I found out that we had only sold around 100 copies of the other games, and I was going, oh my God, we have no money in the bank. So I started selling them cart only, and said that when I raised money for that, I would print the boxes, which were rather expensive. At the time I only had a boxing solution in Canada. Yeah. So I was printing in Burlington, Ontario, and then I was shipping boxes down to California. Okay. And I did the Blue Sky Rangers games. Probably people don't know that. Huh. Just a moment. But I produced these games. Yeah. This one. You have them there. You can show them.
Well, you got that one. You got Spiker up there. Here's the other two.
Yeah, right.
Spiker up there, right?
Spiker.
Yeah.
So I did these three games, and just at the same time that Tim decided he was going to quit. So he just quit on me. And I'm going, why? And I go, he goes, health.
Give my dog barking. My brother's
coming. So he just up and quit on me. So all my stuff's in California. Yeah. I'm in Thailand. I have nothing here. Right. And then I have all this stuff in Burlington. Luc knows about that. Yep. Right. And so I have a friend in Burlington that has a lot of my stuff. Joe Zed. I don't know how to say his name.
Zabicek.
Tell me how to say his name properly.
Zabicek.
Zibchak, I call him. But anyway.
Zabicek. Oh, that's I hear on Paul Nurminen pronounces it Zabicek, and Rick Reynolds. Right. So.
He'll never correct anyone. He won't tell anyone how his name is pronounced. It's hilarious. But anyway, so I have stuff over there. I have stuff all over the world. So that's why. And then unfortunately, a lot of people boycotted the releases. They wouldn't buy them because they weren't CIB or complete in box. So that turned out to be like 50 copies we were selling. 50, 60 copies, not very good. For such a massive game. So that's and I wanted to keep this programmer, so I started got him to do TNT Cowboy, and then
I have not played, but I've heard wonderful things about.
Yeah. So
What's AF stand for again? I can't say the first word.
I can't pronounce it either.
Anthropomorphic force.
Anthropomorphic force. I know it's force. Anthropomorphic.
Joe says it's anthropomorphic mouthful.
Yeah, really. But fabulous games. Like, but
Yeah,
so
very
it's a great strategy though, William. What you did to release them like that and follow it up with the package. I've done similar things with other producers right in the States, like for Switch and such, small premium edition games, for example. Okay, I ended up buying a subsequent package from them, which was just inserts and an outside box to make the complete set for the deluxe version. We're like that. It was just a neat strategy because they're trying to produce the games, get them out there, because the sales of one builds upon the other, and everybody wants to have the whole thing. And as a collector, you have to understand that. In my opinion.
Yeah, I tried to bring them out complete in box, but I just couldn't do it. And then when Tim just up and quit on me, all of a sudden, I had Defender of the Crown coming out. That was 2 years ago. So
I remember that because I got it directly from you.
Yeah. So Joe pulled my rear out of the fire for that.
Yeah.
I flew from Thailand into San Francisco, and he picked me up in his car, and we drove to Tim Neighbor's house in Orangevale, California.
Yeah.
Filled his car full of stuff. Filled his car full of stuff, and drove all the way up to Portland, Oregon. And then I ended up building, and I'm never doing this again. Ended up building copies at this show, and Joe was helping me. It was, it's just like
PRGE, Portland Retro Game.
This guy makes a load of money, doing tech stuff, and here he is shrink wrapping for me at the show. I mean, what a great guy!
Yeah,
and
that's where I met you both the first time, eh? That right. PRGE,
was it?
Yeah.
Yeah. He was building Defenders of the Crown at the booth with Joe Z.
With Joe.
Yeah. That's too cool. The PRGE, like for Intellivision community, for the Intellivision community, that is the big meetup spot, is it not?
Yeah, I believe.
Would I be right in saying that?
Yeah.
I was like gobsmacked when C-Mart paid for not only my meal when we went out one night, but everybody.
Oh wow!
I just like I was
very generous guy.
I was blown away.
I have videos on here that will I can attest to that quite well.
And then I thanked him, and he goes, "Well," he says, "the secret is you don't tell anyone before."
Yeah.
Well, So right now, I've decided that even these, as you can see, I've printed 6 new boxes. That's a lot of money, and my wife actually wants money sometimes.
I would think.
Yeah,
that's a pretty reasonable expectation.
So she's kind of emptied my account a little bit, and what I want to do is I want to sell basically the 3 boxes, right?
Yeah.
And then I'll ship the people the boxes. So if you have one of each of these loose, right? I'll sell them all 3, ship the boxes, and then later when I print the manuals and overlays, I'll mail those on for free later.
Yeah. I think that's great.
So that's what I'm going to do to raise a little money for helping me print the overlays.
Well, at this point, I'd be inclined, like myself, to buy the boxes from you, not having the games yet, and hoping that I can get the games sometime.
No, the games will be sold complete in box when I have all the elements and when I have cards.
Understood.
So it's not. Yeah, this is only for people who showed me the support. So they essentially will get the materials first.
Gotcha.
And then I'll be doing releases. As you know, Joe's on a big hiatus because he's very, 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 very busy at work.
Right.
So I'll be releasing Cat Attack. Now everyone's saying, when's it coming out? Well, it's done. I don't have the manual. I don't have the overlays, and I don't have the cartridges to put the game on. So same with this game. This game is done too. It's
the Star
finished.
Mercenary. Yeah.
Yeah. So, and this game is done, of course, but we have to add voices. We have to add voices to it, and we need Joe for that.
Mhm.
And I'd like to show another thing that I have here.
Sure, yeah,
I
please.
have,
Oh, yes.
Infiltrator CDs.
Mhm.
So I have all of those here. And
Because
I have
when you
the
released Infiltrator, talk about that again. That's a game that I did. You and I worked together, and I did an announcement video on it, but not so much a review, because the game at that point I was dealing with the beta version. But I did the announcement video for you of it coming out in November, and ideally being released alongside of. Am I correct in saying Robot Army?
That's
That's
correct.
sort of
Yeah.
a combination purchase, because shipping is always an issue, because when you ship things like this, as Luke can attest to, they can't be shipped in a soft-sided envelope. They have to be shipped in a box.
Right.
Right, Luke?
Yeah.
So when you spend a little bit of money on a game like a nice homebrew like that, you want good shipping options. So to buy a combination of two games is going to save a person $10, $20, correct?
Right. I mean,
So-
I'm in Thailand, so they're shipping internationally.
Yep.
So you're looking at for generally Europe, Canada, North America.
Mhm.
Canada, I believe it is cheaper than sending to the United States. At the moment, for some strange reason. Usually
I'm
it's
finding
the
out with
opposite.
everything, it's cheaper for me to send to the United States than for the United States to send to me
Right.
right now, for whatever reason.
Yeah, they're quite expensive. So, and everyone loves to use PayPal. I hate
Mhm.
PayPal. And so the reason I hate PayPal is I want people to know that they are not cheap to use. So I charge people PayPal. So
Yeah.
essentially, it's like $4 on $100.
Yep.
You know,
Which is
So
significant.
right. So there's essentially you're looking at, for one game, you're looking at $20
Sure. Yeah.
for the shipping. But if you add two games, even with the PayPal, with the PayPal fees, it only costs another $7.
Right.
So you can get one game for $20 shipping and PayPal, or you can get two games for $27 shipping and PayPal. Much cheaper.
Yeah.
And then if you do three games, you can get that for $5 more. So
And you do have other options than PayPal for somebody who's so inclined, correct?
I'm Canadian, so I can accept Interac in Canadian dollars.
Okay.
So this is one thing that Luke wants to talk about as well.
Okay. Yeah.
We want to because we're all Canucks, right? We're all
Right. Yeah.
Canadians. We want to establish a Canadian price.
Right.
Because when I started, I pegged the games to American pricing, and if the
Sure.
American dollar went up or down, it affected the Canadian price. But go ahead, Luke. Say what you think on this.
In the meantime, I'm going to celebrate the reopening of Intellivision Collector by a nice Gahan Pumpkin Ale.
Yes.
Here's some
That's
water.
different.
Whistler
Water.
Brewing, grapefruit ale.
Oh wow, that's different.
And I even got a cup just like you, Pete. Right?
Oh, but this is a pumpkin seasonal, so I had to get a little bit more nicer, more formal glass tonight.
If I drank beer at 7:30 in the morning, would you call me an alcoholic?
It's
5:00 somewhere.
Right.
No, to get back to what William
Yes,
was saying
please.
earlier, Intellivision Collector is going back up, and it is all in Canadian funds this time.
Okay.
There is a spot on top of the website. You can change it to US funds, euros, whatever you want from around the world. I'll ship all around the world. But I wanted to stay things Canadian. Right? I'm Canadian, proud to be Canadian. I'm going to have my website in Canadian dollars.
DJC. Oktoberfest.
Yeah.
Sorry, no, I'm not trying to interrupt you. You keep your train of thought.
No, I'm just looking at my beer. I want to stop talking and drink a little.
Oh, that's a head.
That's what she said. No, but yeah, I mean, me and William, we talk all the time. We've been talking for years. Even though the website was down, we still talked every week, every second week, or whatever,
Yeah.
message here and there. And we both started saying that, kind of keep it Canadian. We wouldn't have to pay the fees they charge you, right?
Right.
Christ, what the hell is that word?
Exchange money.
There we go. Sorry.
Yeah.
Yeah, so the exchange they charge you, and PayPal is pretty bad for that as well. So you get to save a little bit. And, you know, when you save a little bit, you can charge a little bit less too. I'm not out to gouge people. I'm not out to make money.
Nope.
A little bit here and there.
Not
Oh,
out to make money.
You're out to make
A
money,
lot of money.
but not out to make money off
Crazy
things like
money.
that.
Hey,
Yeah.
I got a day job for my money, right? This is
That's
just
right,
for
right.
fun. This is to
There
support
you
the
go.
habit.
Nice.
That's all it is.
Nice. That's beautiful. Say Doomer on there. Here's a good support for you right there, Chris. Every
Doomer.
couple of weeks. You're right.
Yeah, he used to drive to my house and do a house pickup all the time too. He's a great guy.
There was no shipping there, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, so
I gotta say-
Interact cuts out the fees for
Yeah.
PayPal, and it cuts out the exchange rate.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
we'd
you
like
know,
to, yeah.
I'll bring this up though, because this is an issue with people. Like, I have no issues. Like when I talk to you and I send you the Interact, I have no problems, right? But people do like the PayPal security. Okay, if they're not used to shopping with a person, if they don't know people, and it's not anybody's place to say, "Oh, go ahead, you can trust them." It's not our position to do that. It's theirs to learn over time. So the PayPal option almost kind of has to be there if that person wants to do it, but they got to realize if they do want to do it, it's going to cost a little bit extra. Is that fair to say?
I think so.
Yeah. Yeah.
Add the fees, and they
Yeah.
might have money stuck in PayPal.
Yeah.
You know, if you're a Canadian, you have American money stuck in PayPal. You know, you're not gonna spend it in Canada. And of course, if you buy something in Canada in Canadian dollars, they'll convert it and take 4% just for that exchange, and give you a bad exchange rate too.
Right. Yeah.
So I'm actually trying. I've been researching TransferWise. And I'm going to set up TransferWise, which is a PayPal-like payment system.
Yep.
And I'm going to actually give people a $5 discount to use it. You know, when they buy from me direct.
So we know Chris knows how to get to Luke's house for sure, and we also know that Chuck really wishes he was Canadian. His cousins are, but poor Chuck isn't. Oh, Chuck, if only you were Canadian.
He just has to eat more beaver tails.
There you go. He's close by right there in Detroit, but oh, that's so cool. Oh, look who's in the house.
Ah,
Rev.
sir.
Hello.
Join. Look at that.
Right on.
Interesting fact. Intellivision Revolution changed their logo.
I saw that.
Yeah.
I like it.
Yeah, they changed that. They changed the font on their website, celebrating, if I'm not mistaken, 10 years in business.
Wow.
Wow.
Yeah, they were very kind to me in Portland. They let me set up a little area on their quite big booth.
Yep.
To make these games. And as you know, I probably shouldn't have been making games there for obvious reasons. And I'm sitting there making games, and I look up and I see a couple cops go by.
Yeah. And, you know, speaking of being generous, Pete, man, I haven't really mentioned too much about this in the past, but when I started Intellivision Collector, the whole community did not see me as competition.
Okay.
If it wouldn't be for John Rev, Intellivision Revolution, he came up with the name Intellivision Collector.
Okay.
William started giving me some games to sell, some homebrew. Nobody else would because I'm the new guy.
Yeah.
Everybody helped out. 2,600 connections, sold me a whole bunch of Go subs at an incredible price to try to help me out. People were helping me with web design. This community is fantastic. And if anything I can say, Collector Vision, Intellivision Revolution, Intellivision Collector, nobody's in competition with anybody. We help each other out. We send ourselves products. We help each other when they need help. It's fantastic. I've had nothing but a great experience in this journey.
That's fantastic to hear.
When I was working with Tim Neighbor, he had the attitude that, you know, that others were competition, but my feelings on it are that I think that there's more people that don't know about these games, that have an old Intellivision sitting in their closet,
Yep.
that haven't been using it and aren't aware that there's new stuff to buy. That having your product in more places than one it just increases the possibility of it moving, rather than, there's not a finite number of sales, in my opinion, that there's 200 sales, and if Luke gets 100, I miss 100. I don't think it's a zero-sum game. So I think that believe it or not, one of the games that boxes that I've decided to reprint is D2K.
D2K?
You know how many? Yeah, you know how many D2K boxes were printed?
No, how many were?
Approximately 1,150 boxes.
Wow.
So of those, 200 went to the special edition. Bunch were ruined. When you make boxes, you sometimes ruin them, as Luke knows.
Yeah.
But I'd say we probably moved about 700, 800 copies.
Well, that's
D2K.
regular DK arcade. You're talking the D2.
D2,
arcade, right?
Yeah, I still have copies of DK, so
yeah,
I can make more of those.
But you won't be making any more copies of the D2K Special Edition, correct?
That's correct. There's only 200 serial numbers. I have 20 serial numbers left, so I could make 20 more copies. But the manuals, I believe, are in California, so they're not being made anytime soon.
Okay. Yeah.
So generally, there's about 180 copies of that, of the 200, and the rest are just sitting there in the wings. But that's pretty much done. You're not going to be able to buy that except in ROM format from Carl Moeller direct.
Well, that's just the way it is, I guess. Oh, everybody always wants to get the entire set, but at some point you got to realize there's only so many of them that are out there, especially with this type of release, correct?
Well, D2K Special Edition was charged $100. A lot of people lost their minds about that, but the reason it was done was basically to help Carl with some medical expenses. So what he did when we did D2K, he looked at D2K Jumpman returns.
Okay.
And he decided that 2 of the screens were just not suitable for the Intellivision, and he made his own. So he put 2 of the D2K Jumpman return screens, and he came up with 2 of his own. And then what we did was we put D1K in there together to make the whole package. Excuse me. D2K Jumpman Returns also has a elevator. How high can you go?
Mm-hmm.
Instead of the stacking monkeys.
Okay.
So what was done was he essentially cloned the D2K Jumpman Returns arcade hack. So when you buy the special edition, it's exactly like that. And instead of D1K, you have D2K as the bonus game. So you have the Jumpman Returns arcade clone, and then you have the original Intellivision one. So we decided there was only going to be 200. It was going to be special edition, $100. People lost their minds. And the funny thing is that the game D2K Arcade was out of print at the time, and it was selling used for $140.
And all of a sudden, here comes the special edition.
It came the special edition. Nobody would buy it. So it capped out around 100 copies, and people were boycotting it. So eventually, Portland, I blew out a bunch for like $70 each, and I sold a bunch off. So right now, there's about 20 copies left that are possible to be made, and right now they don't. Right now they're sitting in parts. Right. So that's the story between That's the story of D2 Arcade Special Edition.
Special Edition. Wow.
Speaking of ROMs, I think Luke has something to say about ROMs.
There we go. This is very interesting too. I really like this direction that I've seen the last little while.
Yeah, we, like I said, we talk often. William has given me permission to sell Fantasy, the complete ROM package, on the Intellivision Collector website. So I've actually activated the digital section of Intellivision Collector, where where you go ahead and make your purchase. You can purchase a ROM. It'll give you a link to download the ROM within an X amount of hours, which is 24 hours.
Yep.
And have 2 attempts to download it, and then you're not able to download it anymore. If there's any issue, send me an email. I'll reset the counter. But that's just to stop people from sending the link out and having it mass produced downloads for free.
Yeah.
So hopefully, not hopefully, but in the future, there'll be more and more ROMs shared on Intellivision Collector as well. The beauty thing is I don't have to package anything or go to the mailbox or the post office. So it's fantastic for me.
So let's go on, like, because I know lately I've gone on different places, whether it's the programmers or whoever are selling these packages themselves for around $10. I've been more than happy. Like, for example, this is one that's not associated with either, but for example, this one, which I bought last year. Okay. And now I've bought the ROM because I'll gladly pay the extra $10 to have the ROM version. I could play a Ultimate Flashback as well. But there's some serious risks involved with that, aren't there?
Yeah,
like,
of course.
For the sellers, for you guys, if you're trying to produce and sell these games in physical versions.
Well, I've talked to various programmers. I don't want to name any names, but typically people sell 30 copies of their ROMs. Now, Carlos, who I am naming names.
Yeah, well, Carlos is here in the chat.
Is he still here?
I bet he's still there. I know he was there earlier.
He's doing much better. He's doing in the 40s, 50s, 60s, close to 100 for some of his titles. Right. Which, if we were selling 100 ROMs, $10 would be a great price. Personally, if I sold, and I know for a fact that we printed 1,000 and there's a little bit of overrun. So, like I said, around 1,150 boxes of this were printed.
Yes.
LTO Flash.
Yeah.
And look at the serial number on this.
What is it? I can't. It's 0076?
976.
976.
That means that there's 900. This is the 976th version of this.
LTO 04714.
714. You have copy number 714.
714. Okay.
That's not your cart serial number. That's just the package.
Yes.
So this means that there's been 979 made. There's 1,000 serial numbers. So Joe has basically got around 100 of these boxes left. Not even. So I'm actually printing more LTO boxes when I print my next secret game.
Your new secret game?
Well, a game that you haven't announced yet.
Oh, yes.
I'm in the frame of mind that I'm a collector. I want the physical copies. I want something I can hold in my hand.
Yeah.
But at the same time, I want to play the games. And I would like to play my games on a Raspberry Pi because it's HDMI, beautiful screen.
Yep.
I have ROMs as well. I don't mind spending money for a CIB and $10 for a ROM. It's no big deal, right?
Precisely.
I get both.
Yeah.
I'm not trying to be what do you call it? I'm not trying to be hypocritical. I mean, I'll admit I have a lot of ROMs that I downloaded. I have ROMs like you wouldn't believe. But I know that there's games that I haven't bought that I have ROMs for. So protecting my ROMs has been what I've done. Intellivision Revolution says unlocked ROMs are the way to go, in my opinion. Yes.
Well,
I agree.
I'm going to say this is like, and I say this in the videos that I do, because I've only done 3 so far. I've done Heli and Antarctic Tales, which I only have the ROM, and because it's not available physical copy right now, and the announcement for Infiltrator, and I have other ones which I'm going to talk about here in a moment, which I'm going to be doing another announcement very soon. But my point that I'm trying to make is yes, just what Luke said, we're collectors. A lot of people in this still dealing with Intellivision it's more to them than just having the games to play. It's having the physical part, because we are collectors. We're all sort of
You know how
the
much,
age.
you know how much I paid?
But it's so important for us not to share the ROMs. I try to press that out. You pay $10 for a ROM. Don't give it to your buddy. Say, your buddy, Jesus, throw the $10 in, because if you throw your $10 in and you throw your $10 in and you throw your $10 in, they're going to make more games. And there's going to be more complete in box. And it's better for the whole hobby if we don't share the ROMs.
I'll tell you one thing that happened to me, okay?
Yep.
Now, TNT Cowboy.
Yes.
A lot of people think that's a great game, right?
Yep.
A lot of people think it's amazing. Well, that game didn't just spring out of a hobbyist programmer. I mean, I actually commissioned it.
Sure.
I says let's have something like Bomberman, okay? And that's what Oscar came up with the ideas. Oscar melded them together and came up with it, but it was commissioned by me, and I paid $4,000 for that game, US.
Right.
That's a lot of money.
Yep.
So if suddenly everyone's playing the ROM and nobody's buying the ROM, or nobody's even buying the game, I'm getting killed financially.
Yes, understood. That's the dangerous part of it that I was sort of alluding to begin with. It's scary. That's going to be. Listen, I think that's 100% valid fear on your part, because you're making the investment and you're trying to sell the complete in box product. I guess what I'm saying is that it should be. I believe that us in the community have to be of the mindset that we want you to succeed, because when you succeed, we get more games. So I want to be able to have the complete, and I want to be able to have the ROM. So I'm going to do everything I can do in my power to make that work for you.
But get this story, okay?
Yeah.
I encrypt my my TNT Cowboy ROMs.
Right.
And what I did was they're only encrypted for the first 600 or so Intellivision LTO flashes.
Sure.
Right. So the new ones, the one that I have here, I don't have ROMs for that. So I sent an encrypted ROM to a reviewer, and he came back and told me that it was broken. What he done was he tried to hack it.
Right.
To prove me wrong. That that he tried to break my protection. And then he told me, so I'm sending a protected review sample for free.
Yeah.
And he tries to hack it to teach me a lesson. I mean, the fact is that I didn't come up with the encryption. Joe Zed did. He's a genius.
Yeah.
It pairs with his cart. It's a black box. No one's getting it. No one's getting this ROM. If it's encrypted, the only people who have the ROM are Joe, myself, and the programmer. And if it leaks, it's because I've been hacked. That's the only way. People say, "Oh, I'll just dump the cart." Someone said he wanted to buy the Defender of the Crown ROM. I said, "It's not for sale." He goes, "Oh, I'll just wait for the dump." And I go, "Well, that's what people said about Boulder Dash. How many Boulder Dash dumps are out there? Have you been able to find a ROM?"
I've not looked myself.
Oh, look! Well, I look all the time for my ROMs.
Sure, of course you would. Yeah, that makes perfect sense. I guess I'm just sort of looking at it from openly say, it's kind of an ideological point of view that I have. It's not necessarily realistic to think that people won't share these unencrypted and unprotected ROMs. Because it's nice, it's easy for me to say, I'll pay the extra $10. I'm not going to share it with somebody. Just pay the friggin' $10 and help it. But the reality is people throw it out there. I guess that's the problem, right?
Well, the thing is the guy who tried to hack, my ROM. I know that he said he was going to buy some ROM and then he didn't buy it. I'm wondering, it's an unprotected ROM. Did he suddenly decide that no, I found it? You know what I'm trying to say?
Well,
the guy who hacked the ROM, right? The guy who tried to hack the ROM.
Yep.
He put a request in to buy an unprotected ROM and then never paid.
Oh, okay.
Why didn't he not pay?
Well, he didn't break Joe's code, I'll tell you that.
No, this is for an unprotected ROM. Did he get a hold of it?
I'm going to say this right now, and I don't care if you know me or not. If I put in that I want to buy it from you, and listen, I could friggin' forget.
Yeah.
If you told me about, oh, you're going to buy that, the answer would be, oh God, I'm sorry, I forgot. Here's your $10. It wouldn't be, nah, I don't want that anymore. You know, it's like,
Well, I'll tell you what, personally,
devil's advocate here, right?
if I have the programming, paid for in ROM format, and it's very possible with 1,000 LTO flashes out there now.
Yeah.
And more coming probably.
Yeah.
You know, so if we get 1,000 LTO flash customers and you get 400 people buying TNT Cowboy for $10 each,
yeah.
I will give away the ROM. Yeah. I will stop selling it after that. You know, seriously. You know, so if I had 400 people come up and say, here's $10 each, everybody gets ROMs for everybody free. You know, after that, because I'm not, like I said, I'm not looking to you know, make a killing, but I do spend so much time, like, and these new boxes are so I don't know, they're hard to build because they're too thick.
Yeah,
and
that's a beautiful box. What a great game.
Yeah, it's a good game. Oh. But the point is that I have to thin them out. So, but I mean, this box takes a long time to build now because it's quite thick. So the tail box is too thin, and these are too thick. So I have to adjust.
Hey, William, are those the boxes that you're getting printed locally?
Yes. This is a locally printed box.
With your new printer. So those titles are the first titles to be printed with a new printer.
That's correct. That's the new printing. I did 6 boxes. Cat Attack.
Yeah.
And I have the original Ninja Odyssey.
Yeah.
And then I have TNT Cowboy. And finally, Anthropomorphic Mouthful.
Right on.
So
Robot Army yet to come.
Robot Army. All my boxes are sitting in California, so okay. I was going to have them printed or mailed, but believe it or not, the tail boxes. Very good tale of this. The guy who printed the tail boxes decided that 2 shipments would be better than 1. So I don't know why, but he decided that 1 box was too big. So he sent 2 boxes at one time and custom seized one of them.
Oh yeah, Thailand.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I mean, I don't have an importer's license. I'm not supposed to be running a game business in Thailand. So the point is that I had to go up there and say, well, it's my hobby, but I had to drive 10 hours for this thing and then pay a fine. 5 hours up there, 5 hours back. My wife was not impressed. So I've decided that shipping things like boxes to Thailand is not viable. So believe it or not,
spot there.
I'm going to print new Robot Army boxes.
Okay. Yeah.
And speaking of Robot Army, we did a pre-order, and during the testing of the game, I decided to hire a new graphic person, and we totally revamped the Robot Army graphics. All new cut scenes, all new graphics, and final boss scene.
I think he gave me a little sneak preview of that last week, I believe.
Some of the screens.
Screenshot, yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
So
get the trivia ready, Luke, eh?
Yeah, just 1 second. Speaking of boxes, I'm just pulling something up here.
Yeah.
It just reminded me, by the way, 2 things that reminded me during this chat. I saw you pulled up your copy of Battlestar Galactica.
Yes, yeah.
1 of those copies are on sale on my website. I bought 2. I'm selling one of my personal
You
ones.
have a copy of this for sale on your website?
I have 1 copy available for sale on the website. You can't buy that anymore.
No, you cannot. So I've been talking to enough people about this game that, you might want to watch for that website to open later tonight because it may be a hot commodity going right there.
I don't want to open the website now because I want to keep the people in the chat. Right?
Well, you're not going to open it now. After the chat.
After. So that's number 1. Number 2 is, do you remember, and William might remember these, The reproduction box sets that were sold by Oliver back in the day.
Yes.
I have 10 sets, 10 complete sets,
9
series 1 and
complete
2
sets.
of all those game boxes.
You have 9 complete sets, right?
Each set has 6 boxes. So 2 sets, that's 12 reproduction boxes in total.
Right. Yeah.
So what I chose to do is I'm selling 5 copies of the sets. And the other 5 sets, I parted them out. So if you want to buy a box for Spiker, for Diner, for Learning Fun, for Triple Challenge, for Thunder Castle, Mud Buggies, I have a copy available. They are identical to the original, but they do have a reproduction little label on the very bottom flap.
As well they should.
So everybody's been asking me for those boxes. I have those for sale as well.
So how many did you have again?
10 sets.
9 sets.
10.
9.
He's buying one.
No, you know what? That's actually, that's 8. Because Rev, you're still here on the website. I sent you one of those sets last year as a thank you. So I do have 9, and now I have 8.
Carlos is back.
Oh,
what were we were talking about him earlier? I
Let's
can't
scroll down.
remember.
I hate to break because it's such great conversation, but I'm kind of ignoring the chat going through this too.
I can't see the chat, so if anybody's asking me a question, I can.
Oh, I'm sorry, you can't.
Bottom.
I'm trying here. Then, well, I saw about the trivia. That's back. We'll do that in a little bit if you have a couple questions in mind.
I do, and while you're looking at that, trivia from 2 weeks ago.
Oh yeah,
all this one.
I can do this.
This is the French Canadian copy of Super Cobra. Extremely hard to find. Extremely hard to find. I got one, and if you recall from our chat and our
this was on Astro Smash, right? This was on Chuck DJC Game Studios Astro.
That's silver.
Do you see this? This is an Atari label on an Intellivision cartridge.
Wow! Yes, sir.
Yep. Every single copy of the French Canadian version came like this. No explanation why, but they have the Atari sticker on the Intellivision cartridge.
That is too cool.
So that was trivia from 2 weeks ago.
Because it's not even that it's a different color; it's a different shape altogether.
It is. It does.
It's the Atari. It's Atari version.
Atari had triangular labels, and the Intellivision labels were square.
You know what my guess is? My guess is that the crash was happening.
Could
yeah.
Could be.
Without a doubt.
You know, during the crash, I recall going into Woolco. Remember Woolco?
Oh, my brother used to work at Woolco.
I walked into Woolco and I saw all these Intellivision games for like 99 cents, like shrink wrapped, Space Battle or Sea Battle, Night Stalker, all these games, like hundreds of them in a big pile. In one of those, they used to have like these square bins that they would just pile stuff up on, and they had these specials. So I actually bought a bunch, sat there in the courtyard, pulling the price stickers off it, and went down to the game sellers and sold them to them for like $3 each. And then they buy. It says, "You want more?" They go, "Okay." So I go back, I buy about $30 or $40 more, grab a bunch, go back, make another $20. They were so pissed when they walked through Woolco. But the worst part is that I thought, man, if I had my head on correctly, I would have bought the entire stock right there, and then just put it in boxes, stored it, and waited. Anyway, hindsight is 2020. Yeah,
I would have bought multiple copies of this.
Yeah.
Oh, do you imagine?
This is the original. It's not a reproduction box, too.
Oh, is that right? Well,
yeah.
There you go.
Yeah.
And I wouldn't have put mine in as a bonus with my keyboard component when I sold it to Doug Parsons for $5,000 Canadian. I gave him that and so many other rare games, like unbelievable. All the Intellivision ones like
I got to
Tetris
comment on this.
Fortress.
Nothing but good things, Carlos. Nothing but good things. You see that at the bottom?
I leave and they talk about me. All right. What were we talking about? We talked about him. I forget what we said.
We're
good
talking
things.
about ROMs,
All
about
things.
selling the ROMs.
Oh yes. So ROMs, yeah. I don't know. With Joe's little hiatus and the fact that we've already taken pre-orders for, for Infiltrator, maybe we should sell, the ROMs. And the reason we're selling them unprotected is because Carlos, wanted me to sell them unprotected. So that's fine. We'll try it. And if it works out well for Infiltrator and other games, we'll continue to do it.
Yeah, I hope so, because I love getting the homebrew, and like Luke was saying, I'll put it up on the shelf, I'll leave it alone, and I'll put the ROM on my Ultimate and play it that way.
I have a question, William. Just thinking out loud. As a collector, and most of us who buy a television game now are collectors, we like to have the physical copy. We've always sold, or I should say historically, games ROMs have always been sold after the CIB. What would happen if we'd sell the game ROM before we sell the CIB? I know I would buy the CIB no matter what. So your quantity of CIB may not be affected that much. And you may have more people buying the ROM because they really want to play the game.
That's what I'm thinking with Infiltrator, because right now I can't get cartridges, and Joe hasn't come up for air yet. So
might be a good way to test that. If it works.
Pardon?
We could test that to see if it works. Yeah. And it's easy for me to say. I mean, I can work with you on that or work with other developers, but I'd like to see a ROM release first before a CIB and see how that affects the sales.
Well, everybody has their own skill set, and like me, when I first started doing this, I didn't know how to make a box. Like my sister was super impressed when I came up with D2K, and she goes, "How did you do this? This is hard." I go, "I don't know. If I'd known what I was getting into, I wouldn't have probably tried it." It's just the way it was. But I ended up producing the games. But I'm just not a webmaster, and I have we had Elektronite.com, and when I first started doing this, I opened up my own game company, and then I talked to Walter, who started Elektronite, and I said, "Can I take over the brand?" So Elektronite is a brand, but it's owned by my company. So Elektronite is not a company, really.
Right.
But this Italian guy had this website, and he just let it expire, and some squatters are on it now. And because it was up for a few years, apparently it's worth a couple $1,000s, according to the people who worry about this stuff. So we ended up losing Elektronite.com, and then we lost another one, and now we're on Elektronite.net. But so I've got all that locked down for a few years, but I literally have no skills to put up a website. So, if Luke could help me sell ROMs on his site, that would be really cool.
That would be awesome. That would be a great place, because to have a sort of one stop.
Yeah, I think the reason, like, Eugenio is handling Dr. Port's ROMs, I believe, and people have to email him, first of all know that he's selling them. Yep. Email him, and then make arrangements to get the ROM. So it's not quite convenient where you just click buy get.
Speaking of who is it that has the Dr. Porch ROMs? I mean, Fantasy is going to be available on. That's a Dr. Porch game.
Trek MD handles them, I believe.
Trek MD name's Eugene.
Trek MD, okay.
Trek MD.
Okay.
He's a real doctor, actually.
There you go.
And I have him as well to sell Fantasy. I've reached out to him earlier this week.
About selling Fantasy?
I made sure that whatever's on my site for sale is legit, and nobody's going to get pissed off. Nobody's going to accuse me of selling something that's not my product. I ask permission for everything.
Right on.
Oh, Dr. Port's
So-
game's cool.
Including my
anybody-
logo. I got permission from Tommy Tallarico to have the Running Man on my logo.
Right on. You know what? I right here. Actually, it's not on there.
Yeah, it's on the
Oh,
bottom.
what? It's just as in television, the Running Man. I didn't have it on there, but it have it on the other logo. If you look up above, it's on the other one. I talked to Tommy about that too, and the font and such. You know,
The Running Man was Keith Robinson's thing. The
Yeah.
Intellivision logo didn't really have the Running Man as
no.
featured that much.
Yeah, it's just a respect thing, right?
So these are Dr. Port's games, which are all ports, obviously, right? And I'm going to be taking a look at some of those in my upcoming show as well. But the most recent one out, Dr. Port's, which I got is this
Wow.
one. This one isn't even released yet per se. I'm going to be doing a bit of an unboxing on it and opening up and playing it. I do not have a ROM of it, so I'm going to play the actual cart on the Intellivision that Luke gave me. Set me up with the one that I could hook up the original Intellivision and capture the video off of. I've used it once already in one of my streams for Battlestar Galactica, actually, before I had the ROM for that one. But very interesting game, Clax. I have not played it a whole lot, like any other version of Clax. So I'm going to be learning it sort of new. But this one is going to be available in the near future, complete in box. Or maybe, are you saying that probably the ROMs will be available as well through this other source? Because with it being a Dr. Port's game?
2BD, I guess. I can't speak for other people.
Possibly, possibly.
I do know that, yes, that game is coming out soon. It is complete.
Yeah.
I believe they're waiting for cartridges from Joe to proceed with them.
Yeah.
And
Actually, cartridges come from me for that. Joe doesn't make those.
Oh, sorry, my mistake.
But
And-
it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. The point is that, well, that's another thing. You know, like I said, Elektronite stuff I want to keep totally, legit because, because of,
Well,
you know,
for obvious reasons.
concerns.
Yep.
To do deals with other companies, but one thing that Joe's been concerned about is that he doesn't like putting stuff on his carts, and to tell you, I have the ability to put stuff on carts, so put two and two together,
So when carts are available, Flax is going to be sold, and it's going to be sold out of Canada.
Out of Canada. So look for something on that very soon. I won't have the details about where you will be able to get it yet. I'm just going to take a look at the game. And at the end of the day, collectability wise, any of these, do you have any of the other Dr. Port's titles that are going to be available on your site now? Because I know, Luke, for example, I picked up this one from you.
I got one Wizard of War left.
Okay. And
I believe I'm in talks to receive more Wizard of War, more Cosmic Adventures,
okay,
more fantasy. So there's going to be more coming.
right on. That's great. That's great, because those are, I mean, I love the style, really love the style of these boxes with the old Coleco style, right? And this CBS electronic style. I really like those too. Those are awesome.
Actually, speaking of boxes, I might be offering a box making service for homebrewers.
Okay.
For gatefolds and possibly Dr. Port's type boxes too, or Atari. What do you call them? Atari box.
The Atari soft style, that one.
Flip top, non-gate.
Yeah, the because that's the same size as the Atari 2600 later games.
Yes.
The original Atari 2600 were gatefold, but
only the first 9.
Right.
At the very first release, the first 9 games were gatefold, but after that, they were all regular.
Holy crap! I didn't know that.
Yeah, they're very. I have none. I have all of the Atari.
How old were you when you learned that? I was born in 1973. I'm not young. Wow. Not old. I'm right in the middle.
Yeah, me
I'm
too.
old. I was born in 63. everyone talks about, like,
Good
really
God,
pisses
right
me
square
off.
in the middle of both of you.
I had a friend who said, "Oh, do you remember when we were kids and playing with Transformers?" I'm going, "No, I was in the army."
Yeah. But we all love
Did you play with
Intellivision.
Star Wars toys? No. I was a teenager when it came out. I didn't play with Star Wars toys.
And speaking of
see
Elektronite, well,
go ahead.
Just before the site shut down last year,
Yeah.
William here sent me a whole bunch of Hover Buffer stickers for carts to
Yeah.
give out for free to anybody who wants them. Because, correct me if I'm wrong, William, the original stickers didn't stick properly after a while. They were defective. And William is offering replacement stickers.
I don't think they ever stick properly or stuck properly.
Right. So if any of my customers wants a sticker for free, just let me know, send an email. I'll probably put something up on the website with $0 amount. And these are free to anybody who wants them. I'll just throw them in the box.
Right on.
Also, when cartridges are available in the future, I'm going to be selling loose copies of Hover Buffer cartridges with manuals. Because if you remember when this fiasco that happened when I first printed the boxes, I ended up selling the box. I decided I was going to cancel the game, and later it was made. But I sold boxes and overlays that I had printed because I'd sunk so much money into them. So there's a lot of these boxes and overlays floating out there with no cartridges or manuals. So what I'm going to do is make those available for probably about $50 shipped.
Okay.
Cartridge and manual, which I think people can put something in their box.
Yeah.
But if anyone is listening and they want a decent quality box for their game, contact me.
Great idea. I know there's a few people out there making games right now that might want to be taking you up on that, offer, especially with the new Indie Homebrew books by Oscar stuff. I've seen different people on YouTube that have started making games. It just takes practice and practice, right? But that's how everybody starts, is it not?
Well,
just keep doing it.
I don't want to. I'm not. I think Intellivision John from Intellivision Revolution can tell you this, that there's only so much you can produce. There's only so much you can box up and resources that you have, because literally it costs thousands of dollars when you're investing in boxes, manuals, overlays, cartridges, and trying to produce something.
Yeah.
So generally, I don't want to be involved in low end stuff.
Yeah.
But other people can do that if they want.
Yeah.
But if they want a good quality box for it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Understood.
So I have my own standards, so to speak.
Sure. Did you see this by Carlos? I put it up there a second ago. You were talking about selling the ROM first to see what it meant for later on sales. And this is one that Carlos just released last week. And I'm sorry to say I have not played it yet. I did buy it. I got it all hooked up. I haven't even unloaded it, uploaded onto my flashback yet. I just got it all sort of set up to do so. But this is a sort of strategy what you're talking about, is it not, Luke? Had you seen this one?
It is. I have. And I'll be honest, I intend to buy a copy of the ROM. I have not done it yet. Just I've been incredibly busy the past 2 weeks.
Yeah.
However, I believe that if he sells the ROM, he'll sell X amount. And then if he boxes the game up, I think he'll sell just as many as if he didn't sell the ROM. Maybe a little bit less. Can't be all that much less.
Yeah. Okay. I'm thinking it may even sell more.
Maybe.
I don't. Excuse me.
It's easy for me to say because I'm not the one investing the money, which I don't have a problem investing the money in trying something like this.
Yes.
But it's never been done yet. Like a full ROM release and then a full CIB release. Everybody's scared to do it. They think they're going to lose money. Well, maybe we should try it once and see if the community supports everybody.
Is this what you mean by a full ROM release, where he's sending it with the manual overlays, graphics?
Yeah.
Doing that ROM release and then later on
do CIB and see how, if it really, if you lose money while doing it, Well, don't ever do it again, and everybody knows that's a failure. But at the same time, I think he would actually make more money. The money you make from the ROMs and the money you make from the CIBs. Because once you have the CIB, it's tough to buy the ROM. But if you don't have the CIB yet, I would spend $10 buying a ROM, no problem. Just like Circus Convoy on Atari, right, Pete?
That's right.
What do you think of doing this one? It's ready to go.
Maybe we should do that. Maybe we should talk afterwards, William.
Maybe. I don't know. It's like this game cost me a lot of money. Not a little bit. A lot.
There you go.
But
That's Rev's position right there. Yep.
It's epic.
Yeah.
Can't wait to get that game.
Like John's comment down here. I think the CIBs, you say, Luke, will sell the same amount regardless, or close enough not to notice. I believe that true as well.
Yeah.
Something to try. Business decision.
Let's see.
Yeah, that's the risk, though. You know.
Yeah.
Need someone to someone who believes to take along a bit of the risk and maybe a little bit of the reward.
Yeah, I hear you.
You two are turning JD into a potential heavy-duty homebrew CIB collector here. That's good for your business, you know.
JD, your parcel's on the way. You can track it. You'll be a happy man when you get it.
He will.
That's JD in Canada?
JD's in around Washington. Washington, D.C. I sent him some stuff pre-Intellivision, right? But I sent him some stuff down last week, and I'm trying to talk JD into releasing his video because he did a pickup video, sort of like what we do, but he just sent it to us. So this is a great video, too. So it's time for him to make it public, his quest to get all the Intellivision games again that he had when he was a kid. He had an Intellivision growing up, but he's getting back into it now. So,
how many people are in chat right now?
There are 16 people in chat.
I see.
Yeah.
There's a lot of people I spoke to, William, that are supposed to join the chat, but because of time constraints, they can't. So they're going to be watching it afterwards on the replay. So there's going to be a lot more people watching this than just 16.
Absolutely.
Television Revolution says, I'll try it. So that means he's going to try a ROM release before a physical cart release?
Wow.
What
there you
game?
Go.
What
Hotel
game?
Bunny 2.
Hotel Bunny 2.
Hotel Bunny. Super Pro Hotel Bunny. That's what somebody's saying.
Go.
Yeah. So, I think there are more homebrews now than
Sheridan edition.
There's over 125 homebrews out now, correct? As Lance is saying.
I haven't counted lately. John could probably comment. Yeah, I know he looks at it all the time. I think we're a bit over for sure.
Yeah.
Or just at one of the two.
Right there, isn't it? Here's another from JD. BC Quest Retires. I remember you had a copy of that on your website.
I did.
Sold.
I did. I sold it.
Collector Vision, right?
Collector Vision, yes.
Yeah. Yeah. I do not have a copy of that. I'd like to have a copy of it too. It was a fun game. And I just like BC, frankly. The comic, not the province. I like the province too.
Yeah, BC stands for bring cash because it's damn expensive to live here.
Yeah, there you go.
I want to move back to the East Coast. I can live like a king.
Do you have the Collector Vision Phoenix?
I do not.
I do not.
Oh, I have one. Apparently, there's talk about putting a core for the Intellivision in it.
Yes.
I don't know.
I don't even. Wow. No, I do not have that. Did you ever find any good controllers?
No, I don't have any controllers yet.
Yeah.
So if anyone wants to trade a copy of one of my games for a couple controllers, I'd be happy to do that.
ColecoVision controllers. Hey, great deal right there. Somebody's got an extra ColecoVision laying around, has some controllers. Work out a deal with William for a couple games. Oh, Mama C is on there now. I don't know who that is.
I think I met her once.
I think you have.
I think I shared a beer with her and her family one day. A bucket of Corona and seafood.
That's right.
That's not Karen, is it?
No,
that's my missus.
Pete's wife, Chrissy.
Oh, I see.
I'm still trying to catch up through the chat again. I get caught up and then I fall behind.
All right, let me buy some time for you, Pete, while you look at the chat.
Yes, please.
show people some stuff they may not have seen or may not know exists.
Let me get that out. Let me get that out of the way. And I'm going to do this. If you're going to show some stuff, William, we're going small for a second.
Okay.
That's what she said. So Donkey Kong, right? Everybody has Donkey Kong. Everybody knows Donkey Kong. But did you guys know that it came in a clamshell box as well?
Oh, extra
Australian.
crappy.
It is OEM. It's not homemade. They're very difficult to find. And they only come in Donkey Kong and Carnival, are the only two releases for the ColecoVision that came clamshell. Very cool. eBay Australia.
Australia.
I have two of these, and I'm keeping them. I may decide to sell one day, but for now, I don't. Carlos
is making one.
I'll just flash. Oh, no, you didn't see that. That was like Super Series Baseball. This took me about 3 years to find, and I lucked out. A guy sold something on Facebook Marketplace. He advertised it on Intellivision Invasion. I believe it was He-Man, the INTV version. I emailed him and asked him, do you have anything else? He's, oh yeah, let me send you pictures. He had this. I think I paid $50 for it.
Wow.
Hard to find. Hard to find. Chris will get a little kick out of this. The White Box Carnival. We spoke of that during Chris's chat when he was with you, Papa Pete.
Okay, yeah.
This is an original game sold in the ColecoVision factory in Montreal. A complete white box. It is a real ColecoVision box. It has the cart retainer and everything. It has the manual. It has everything, but only a sticker that says Carnival on it, Intellivision. So a lot of research was done to see what the heck is this thing. Nobody really knew. So the fine fellows from Collector Vision I was speaking to, and JF, I think it was, and he told me that, oh yeah, that's the local factory in Montreal. They sold right out of the factory, and they sold games like that. They put a lower price tag on it, and it was easy to go out the door. They do it for ColecoVision too. So original game, kind of cool. Now there's 4, 5, 6 of them that have been found.
There's a thread on Atari Age 2 about those white box games, right? With 3 or 4 different ones being shown, correct?
Yeah, Big Boomer has got that one there.
I actually saw them in the wild, but didn't want
them. Qbert, everybody knows Qbert, but it came in a hang box style as well, not a box opening box. This is the only version from the Parker Brothers library that is made in this kind of fashion. So this is another one that's kind of neat to find. This one is factory sealed. And my passion, which some people can attest that it's crazy, but I like it, are the French Canadian sleeve versions.
Oh, yeah.
Very hard to find. And it's simply a regular box. Nothing special about the box, but it's the sleeve that really matters. Right? Because in the day when Intellivision first came out, they wanted to sell them in Canada, but there's rules in Canada that they had to have French language on the box. So before they came out with a French Canadian variants, they had a sleeve. You just throw the box in the sleeve, put it on the market, you can sell it in Canada legally. Everybody would tear these off. They wouldn't last. And these are over 4 years old. They're fantastic. And I can't prove it yet, but I think the first 19 games came sleeved.
Oh, wow.
I have 11 or 12 currently, different ones. And like I said, I'm having a hard time finding them, but when I do, don't try to outbid me on eBay. I'll win. So, yeah, that
is awesome.
Just a few things. I'm not in my game room, so I don't have my whole collection with me, but just a few things I want to show you real quick, right? And for those who have some cartridges that they like to display, you can't buy protective sleeve for Intellivision cartridges. They just don't make them. So these are for Atari, and they're way too big. So what I did, because I'm a nerd that way, I bought a foam cutting machine, and I cut foam that fits exactly in the box, and the cartridge fits right in there for display purposes. So if you have the first, the first 12 games that don't have the insert to line here, and you want to show them, or if you have the painted label carts, or if you have, any cart that you want to just display, these things are pretty cool to have. And I may put them up on my website. I have about 100 made for myself, giving to C-Mart and everybody else. Just, we like to display our things. So.
Does C-Mart have those too?
The
sleeves? No, the sleeves.
Oh, the sleeve. Yeah, he does. I have the biggest collection in Canada, and he has the second biggest collection in Canada, and that's because I find them before he does. But when he sees them, I back off because I can't bid against him, right? But me and him both are collecting them, and it's no secret. Me and Chris Martin, C. Mart, are pretty good friends. I consider him a really good friend. We live a half hour from each other. I visit him often, met his family. I'm bringing my family down there soon to meet him as well. And we share everything. We share games. If he has something I don't have, if I have something he doesn't have, we swap. We're both happy. We don't compete against each other. It's fantastic. He's a great guy. I can't say he's great. He's exactly the same guy as he appears online.
Right on.
Except if you go to the Intellivisionaries podcast, you look at the picture.
Yeah.
Big beer belt. That's not.
Oh, yeah. That's not him. Oh,
that's not.
You broke
Big
my whole
suspenders on him. That's a Nurmix tease he's got going on there.
Yeah. He was going to come on tonight, but he gets tied up. Going to come on with us as well. It just didn't happen. So, okay, yeah. I would think you could fit the overlays in the boxes too, couldn't you? Those little width carts if you're so inclined, right, Luke?
You could. I'm sorry, Pete, man. I'm showing you everything right now.
That's fine. This is great.
Speaking of overlays, I got overlays up my ass in this hockey card thing. I got a thick binder, so I may actually sell some of these.
Sure.
Some of the overlays for iMagic games. I mean, for everything.
That was like, it was hilarious. The other day we were talking about Microsurgeon on Astro Smash on Chuck's channel, the DJC game studios. And Chuck and I each had our copies of Microsurgeon out. And I had a right overlay for mine, was missing the left, and he had the left, was missing the right. Luke was in the chat going, I've got one each, I'll send you.
Speaking of overlays, I'm printing 12,000.
Oh, wow.
12,000 overlays.
Here's a question for you, William. What would it take for you to bring a game that has been out of print for you for quite a while and bring it back and make another? What would be a minimum print run for you?
Well,
obviously the answer to my original question is I'd have to expect to sell them.
Yeah,
but what would be a minimum print run?
I took D2K off the market when I got a lot of guff from it, but there's still demand for people who want to buy it. Mm-hmm. So we're thinking of making more copies of that. Yeah. But when I first started, for example, Old School, right?
Yes.
I did Old School in cart only at the beginning, and then later I boxed it up. And people said, "Oh, why doesn't the box version have a new sticker?" And I go, "Well, why should I print a new sticker?" And they go, "Well, why not?" And I said, "Well, because it'll cost me $150." $150? And I said, "Yeah." And I go, "And I already got 1,000 of these things." And they go, "Why do you have 1,000 of them?" I go, "Because basically, I printed 1,500." Printed 1,500 for $150. Well, why did you do that? Well, I mean that's 10 cents each. But if I printed 100, they still would have cost me 15 or $150. The price was no different. Right. So people don't understand the quantities of them. So I literally have massive amounts of D2K overlays, D2K manuals. Mm-hmm. I'm just missing the boxes now, believe it or not. Right. But same with the boxes that I printed in Canada.
Yeah.
1,000 boxes costs exactly the same as 500 boxes. So why would I print 500 boxes?
No, that's right.
Jasper, I don't know how to say Jasper Agus.
Jasparagus.
Jasparagus. Yes. How many games does the 12,000 cover? 12 games.
12 games.
Basically, my die is 12 up, and I got to print a minimum of 1,000 sheets. So that's like enough overlays for 500 copies.
Or you have a smart aleck answer from JD.
One game plus, yeah, exactly. No, I could do 12 of the same design, and in fact, when I first started, and I only had three or four titles, I ended up with literally thousands of overlays that I couldn't use. I mean, just so many of them.
Yeah.
I still have D2K overlays coming out the Yin Yang in Canada, hundreds of them. But with this new print run, 12 designs, basically enough copies or enough overlays for 500 copies should be enough. But if I have to print 12,000 overlays at a time, it's kind of tough. I have to have 12 different designs. So but as far as like making new games, when I brought out the Lost Caves of Kraz again, I said, it's been re-released. Well, no, it wasn't really re-released. It was, we ran out of cartridges, and then it was out of print for a year, and we just made more copies, but we didn't print anything more. We just used existing materials. So nothing really is off the table.
No,
as
understood.
far as printing
That's
more. I do have I do have to pay license fees for Boulder Dash, and everyone was, when I first released Boulder Dash, everyone was saying, I said, you got to buy it by March 2015, or goes off sale, or 2016. I can't remember the date. Everyone said, that's just a marketing ploy. I'm going, no, it's not. That's when I have to contractually stop selling it.
Yes.
And then destroy the rest of my copies. So essentially, what happened was Tim Neighbor ended up buying enough copies to put me over the break-even point, and then he bought them at full retail, and then resold them. So there's a bunch of copies floating around of Boulder Dash, but generally it's out of print. But I'm talking to I know I am in contact with the owner of First Star Software. Its name is Stefan, and he's the president of BBG Entertainment in Germany. And I can buy licenses for Boulder Dash copies. So I have 25 licenses. That means I can sell 25 copies, and I can buy more if I want.
Wow.
So I might re-release more copies of Boulder Dash. And speaking of knowing different people, I'm in talks with the president of Pico Interactive, who owns the rights to many games, and we're exploring the possibility of porting a very, very popular Genesis adventure game to the Intellivision. And I'm not going to say what it is, but it's an epic release. So
that would be awesome.
This will be a legitimately licensed product. And in fact, when Joe comes back from hiatus, I'm going to ask him to up the size of his cartridge. Oh, there's C-Mart.
Hey.
You've been talking about you, so his ears must be red. So there's still a couple of games that we're going to announce. I think you're going to be doing the next announcement for our next release.
Yep.
That's
very
not
soon, right? For the next couple weeks.
Yeah, I think it's the one that starts with the.
Oh yeah, well, I've got all the notes in. I've got so much. I had so much going through my mind over the last weekend, just getting the things together for this and for the 125 and stuff. It's like I just sort of stash things away, sort of plan for the future. But I know we have that coming right up soon. Within the next couple of weeks, we'll do the big announcement on that next release.
MVL Gaming says Pico are doing some good stuff recently. I think they were selling some Genesis and SENS cartridges on Fun Stock recently.
Oh wow, yeah.
Yeah, there's actually talk about, you've heard about Carl Mueller's Intellivision emulator for the NES?
No.
You know, he can actually run Intellivision games on the NES?
I've not seen it. Is this new or?
No, it's very old. What happened was, you know, a lot of people don't know this history, but we should do a show about it, talking about how I basically started the Intellivision homebrew scene.
Yeah, right. Yeah.
And people go, "Oh, you're full of shit," but no, it's true. But during that, Carl ended up writing the world's first emulator for the Intellivision, and then after he did that, he decided to write. He decided to write an Intellivision emulator for the Game Boy Color, so you can actually run Astro Smash and Burger Time on a Game Boy Color. And then he did it for the NES. And because of various issues we had with Intellivision Productions, it just sat there and didn't do anything. So this thing has been languishing for a long time. So anyway, I'm exploring ways to get Intellivision games onto Nintendo on a chip, which would be really cool if you could have a handheld TNT Cowboy, wouldn't it?
Oh, yeah. Yeah. It is interesting.
That would be something that we would consider doing, which would be really cool, I think.
And they'll be available for sale when you finally make them on IntellivisionCollector.com, right?
Oh, yeah. I mean, you know, we'd probably have to buy 1,000 minimum of these things, so I'd be probably trying to flog them, yeah.
How many different give me a ballpark. I know how many different releases have you done now for Elektronite? If a person wanted to say they had a complete Elektronite collection, William.
I can't remember.
In a ballpark though, like are we talking 30 games now? Are we up to 30?
Oh, no.
20?
About 15 or 16.
15 or 16?
Yeah, that's about it.
Maybe I'm gonna work on. Maybe I'll do a little video just talking about the 16 or 17. I'll talk to you about it over the next couple of weeks, and maybe I'll do just a little blurb talk about the Elektronite releases, the complete list.
Yeah, our first release was D2K, and then we paired it with Intellivision. We re-released in Minor 24 or not Minor 2049, Mindhunter.
Mindhunter,
so
yeah.
We repackaged Mindhunter. Did it better, and then those were the first two. Then we ended up doing Paddle Party and Match 5, and then DK Arcade. Then we did Old School.
Yeah.
Then we did the Craws, Lost Caves of Craws.
Yeah.
Then we did Boulder Dash. And then we didn't do anything for a long time. Then we released Hover Bover, Steamroller, Minor 2049er, Ninja Odyssey, TNT Cowboy, Anthropomorphic Mouthful. And then we have Star Mercenary.
Yeah.
Cat Attack, Infiltrator, and another game.
And for the collectors out there, sorry to light the fuse there, William, but there's the half-cut edition of Hover Bover and the demo card for Defenders of the Crown. I know it's a sore spot for you.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, if anyone has those and they want a real copy of Defender of the Crown, they just send it to me and I'll mail them the cartridge and manual for Defender of the Crown. So if they have one of these little demo cartridges. Yeah. Now, I know that Luke's looking for one, right?
I found a half-cut Hover Bover. And,
oh, really?
I don't have the Defenders of the Crown demo.
For some reason, my ROM seems to be broken, and I'm going to have to talk to Joe about it. But I'm going to release the half-cut ROM for free, and I'm going to release the demo for DOTC for free as well, so people can put it on their cuddle carts or their LTO flash or whatever. But if people have these carts, they don't do anything. You can't play, they suck. So if you want a real copy of Hover Buffer, if you want a real copy of Defender of the Crown, just mail me the cart. You get a real one back with a sticker on it even.
Yeah, that's true. The games don't do anything. They're just, one of them is just screens flashing. Right. I'd rather have the full game than just that, but I kind of run out of things to collect, so.
Well, Elektronite at hotmail.com. Email me if you have one of these carts and want to exchange it.
This is for JD, because JD just made a comment there I put down below. And that's this one right here. Miner 2049er.
What did he say? Oh, there's a money 20. Yeah, not only
where my bid last for it is right here.
Yeah, not only is Miner 2049er on the Intellivision, it has the original first 10 levels, has the ColecoVision level, and it has 11 new levels designed by the level designer of Bounty Bob Strikes Back.
Mm-hmm.
So he basically did all of the levels. It's a legit game, and that's another one of those games that I'm hoping to get on the Pico handhelds. So this is legit, and I have a deal with Bill Hogue, so it's not infringing in any way.
No, that's great. I think you explained that to me before.
I recall I went into a local Hamilton, Ontario retro game store. I think it's One Up, Super One Up, or whatever. So I went in there and I showed off my copy, my brand new copy of Boulder Dash. And I was playing it on their Intellivision and showing it off. And someone says, First Star is going to sue you. I said, I don't think my co-publisher is going to sue me. They just assumed that it was illegal.
Well, we've been on them. See, I told you guys before that we could talk as long as we want. And he says, oh, well, it won't be that long. And it's amazing how the time flies when you have a good conversation like this, really, isn't it? We've been on for over an hour and a half now.
Wow.
It really flies by because there's so much great things to talk about. Just love listening to the stories about the old games and how many different ones you made. So one more time, William, what's the next games coming down the pipe that people can order from you? And will they be able to buy them from Intellivision Collector as well? Or should they order these ones from you? Or what's your status right now? If you could sell somebody in the chat a game, what do you want? What ones do you want to push?
Right now I have lots of Blue Sky Rangers games in packages, shrink wrapped, ready to go. But aside from that, Defender of the Crown. Yeah. So I have shrink wrap copies of Defender of the Crown. I think Luke might be taking some.
Yep.
But that's pretty much all that I have because of the cartridge shortage. I mean, I can make copies of various different things. People say, "Oh, do you have a copy of the Lost Keys of Kraz?" I actually burned a cartridge and went upstairs and got the box and the manual and the overlays, put it all together and shrink wrapped it, and sold it to them. But generally, I'm not swimming in stock. I have a bunch of DK arcades, but I'm looking basically to sell them off to Luke so he can have something to sell. So right now, until Joe comes back, I don't really have too much. And the thing that I want to do is any cartridges that I get are going to go into the pre-orders for Infiltrator and Robot Army. Once I fulfill all those orders, then I'll probably start selling. I'll probably start selling Cat Attack or Star Mercenary, making copies of those.
So those are the games that we can look forward to coming. Like where do you announce these when they come? For right now, where do you announce them? On your Facebook page, correct?
On my Facebook page is my main is my main page. I hope to have, get my rear end going and get my website operational, but I can't even remember how to log on to my website anymore. So I bought some new software because my software was like really out of date, like by 10 years.
Yep.
So I got a new software package that can do up-to-date websites. But I just don't have the skills as a webmaster, so I have to get on that. And I've been overwhelmed by doing other things. Right now, I've got to write manuals. So the best way that people can get a game that they're looking for is to email me at elektronite@hotmail.com.
Yep.
And say, hey, I want to get a minor 2049er. And do you have
Right
a copy
on.
or something or whatever they're looking for? And my
Perfect.
games are generally, as I said, $70 US each in
Yep.
general,
Yep.
plus $20 shipping and PayPal fees. But if you add another copy, it's $7, and if you add a third copy, it's $5 more. So the shipping rates go down.
Yep. Perfect.
And this is sent in a box via registered mail. So it's not,
Yep.
you're getting a good service for as far as shipping goes.
Yeah.
And I don't put like, oh, this is worth $210 US, for a game. I put the cost of the cartridge as as declared value.
So some of these as well, though, in the future, okay, we're going to see a lot of them in the IntellivisionCollector.com as well, right, Luke?
Yeah, I'm going to...
Some on there now. I currently have Lost Gates of Cross, Steamroller, Mindhunter, and DK Arcade from the Elektronite titles are on my site.
Yeah.
And more to come, waiting for shipping.
Right on.
And I'll have copies of these games, like, when I sell Infiltrator and Robot Army, I'll have those shipped to Luke as well.
That's awesome.
So he can, hopefully he'll eventually have copies of D2K, whatever else he's interested in, Hover Bubber, etc.
So safe to say, anybody's looking for any of these games, they really could contact either one of you through the website, through your Facebook page, wherever if they're looking for some of these games, they can contact you. You guys will work something out.
Right. Also, I just want to say once more that any Canadians who want to buy stuff, we can make a deal in Canadian dollars and avoid exchange and PayPal fees.
Yes. Which ends up being pretty significant, like we were saying at the beginning.
Yeah, how much does it cost you to buy one of my games if I'm charging $90 US if you're paying in Canadian dollars?
I am telling you that probably some of the newer releases that I've gotten have been in the 110 range by the time all is said and done, right? So that's shipping and fees and everything, and it's up there. But there's got to be some understanding about the whole. If you want to get these quality games and quality products, that's the cost of them nowadays, right? You think about a game in 1980 that was $45. Well, $45 in 1980 is about $160 today. So
right,
really,
and I'm lowering my cost as far as like boxes and overlays. So there's a lot of pressure to put prices up these days because everything's going up. So I intend to maintain my prices.
Right on.
Which some people are called too high, but
the
prices
are high, but that's where they are. That's what they have to be.
One thing you got to start taking in consideration either is taxes, right? Duty. Hey, buy Canadian, right? If I can get a big lot in Canada and you're Canadian and you want to buy, then you're not going to have those random duty fees that come along with not only the exchange in money and everything else.
Yeah.
Right. Eventually, I'd like to have a Canadian distributor. I think I do. An American distributor and someone in Europe, because they're really tamping down on the taxes in Europe. So sending stuff into Europe is expensive. Yes,
there you go. This is MVL Gaming saying he's in the UK, and it is difficult in that regard, you know, with all the postage. Postage has just gone crazy, it seems, in the last year or so. But again, it's, if you want to do this, this is what you have to pay, right? So
Yeah, and you know, on the topic of postage, if I can as well take 5 minutes here, Pete.
sure.
On Intellivision Collector, I have got some feedback that some people are annoyed that they don't have the actual shipping cost when they go and purchase their product.
Okay.
The reason I can't do that is because it all depends on where the box is going, how much the box weighs, and what's the dimensions of the box. So if I'm only selling one video game, it's not a problem. I could put the price on there and off it goes, and this is your shipping cost.
Right.
But when you're dealing with, hey, I want 12 games, and I want a console, and I want a flat box, and I want this, and I want that, then I have to custom box it, weigh it,
Precisely.
measure it, you know, go to the post office or do it online, get a quote. So it may be a little inconvenient for the customers to buy a product from my site, but maybe you have to wait a little bit for a shipping quote, an hour or two or whatever. But I'll always charge actual shipping, if not just a tad more, because I got to pay for the box and the
The
packaging.
boxes, yeah, exactly.
The alternative is I put a flat rate of $30 shipping if you buy one game or 6 or something like that, which I don't think is fair for anybody.
No.
So just leaving it out there, if you do purchase from IntellivisionCollector.com, and you most likely you may have to wait to get a quote for shipping, but it's only going to save you money.
Yep.
And that's the reason I do it.
Fair enough.
If you, like, for example, if you want to buy Spiker from me and you're in the UK, it's going to cost you basically $20 for shipping and PayPal fees, $20 US.
Yeah.
So that's pretty reasonable compared to, I don't know, what do you charge, Luke, to send a game to the UK?
The UK, I've sent many, but I didn't memorize the price because,
Right.
of course, it depends. I also give the customers the option of, do you want tracking? Do you want non-tracking, surface, air? I let the customer choose how he wants it shipped.
Yeah.
Right.
I know for the United States, tracked parcel, 1 game or 4 games is the same cost, and it's $18.95 US.
Yeah.
Yeah,
So 23 bucks.
I'm pretty lucky here in Thailand. I can send a registered mail for about $16, and that's 1 game, pretty much to Europe, Canada, or the US, or Australia for that matter.
Well, let me just say that, and if anybody's wondering about shipping and such, I have several games that have come from William. I have several games that have come from Luke. I've never had an issue with like the shipping. The shipping has been A plus. So very, very happy with that. And
Thanks
it's
to my
worth
wife.
paying for it.
Here, I'll show you one of the boxes that we use. This is the sign, you know, this is the kind of box that we, put 1 game in.
Yeah. And it's wrapping and saying like the stuff, everything that always comes from Luke is in perfect condition when it gets here. So
I don't send things in a padded envelope, Pete.
no, but I got advantage of that, right?
I bought a copy of Turbo, mint condition out of the United States, perfect condition. I paid $20, $30 for it. It was fantastic condition. The guy sent it to me in a padded envelope. You know those Coleco boxes, right? It was crushed. It was pancaked. Pancaked. I'm out. That's it. I couldn't do anything. The shipping, no. And that happened 2 or 3 times.
Oh, it's tucked away. I show you. I ended up buying it because I'm not as fussy, I guess. I was just trying to Turbo. Yeah, I'll get that. That's a great deal. And I just put it in my protector and squared it all up, and it looks fine for me.
Well, I have to make a deal with Luke to get some more copies of common games. My collection is very, very small because moving overseas, bringing old Intellivision games with me is not a priority.
There you go. Yeah, really.
Anyway, thanks for having us on.
Hey, absolutely. Thank you both so much for coming. Elektronite, check out William under Elektronite. Is it just Elektronite Video Games on Facebook? Elektronite.
Yeah, it's Elektronite.
You search for Elektronite,
you'll get it.
Elektronite, and you will find William and Elektronite on Facebook, and
It's
that's
not
where he has a lot of his.
Not Electrolyte.
No, Elektronite, not Electrolyte. That's something that you see in Gatorade. You'll find him, and you'll see all of his news that he puts out really consistently on when some releases are coming out, what new games are coming, some teaser shots, some teaser videos in some cases, and it's great to follow. And I really like watching for what's coming down the pipe, like
One last thing.
Robot Army, Star Mercenary, all these other games, which just cha-ching, 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 cha-ching. Oh well, that's all right.
I just one last thing that I want to say is I don't think I'm going to make my November release for Robot Army and Infiltrator pre-orders. So probably won't make that. So we'll see what happens.
The way things are in the world now, we're kind of getting used to delays for things. I mean, it's just the way things go. It's like, I don't know. I've become more patient in my I find over time. I'm looking forward to it. When it gets here, I'll be happy.
Play a game.
That's right. I got games to play while I'm waiting, so I'm good. And Intellivision Collector goes live in probably about 10 minutes. We finish up in here, huh?
Yeah.
And if you want that copy of Battlestar Galactica, JD, you better get there. Or Lance. Lance needs a copy too. So they'll be battling over it. I know those two are both want a copy of Battlestar Galactica. And so one more time, Luke, tell me what's going on.
Not only Battlestar Galactica, I got Miss Night Stalker as well, Intelligent Vision.
Oh.
I got a Shark 2 on there as well. I got quite a few items on there. But once again, Intellivision Collector, back online, stores reopening. I ask people that purchase, please to be patient with me, because my failure the first time of doing this was sacrificing too much family time in order to fulfill orders. People used to buy from me. I used to fulfill it the same day, go to the post office the same day, do everything for the customer immediately.
Yeah.
And I paid the price a little bit with, it was hurting my family life. And that's ultimately what led me to shut it down. Was my priority is my family. My priority is my kids, my stepkids, and my day job. This is a hobby. Yep. So if you purchase from me, if I take a week to ship it, if I take a week and a half or 2 weeks to ship your product out, you have purchased your product. It is reserved for you. I just need the time to send it out. That's it.
Nope. I think that's
everybody's full with that. The website will stay open.
There you go. You can't. The website can't take over your life. It's a service that everybody in the community loves that existed, because when you stop doing it for we discussed it. It was the right thing. But man, people missed it because people loved the service that you were giving. And at the end of the day, it was just the fact that it was there and it was reliable. It didn't have to be the next day. So I think if people can have their expectations, like say, okay, yep, this is great. A little bit of patience. I said before, patience. I'm learning in the world of COVID, I'm learning how to deal with patience because everything seems to be delayed nowadays. And that's fine.
Absolutely.
Well, Infiltrator is coming. We do have the materials. We're getting them.
Can't wait for that game too. That's great. Right on. So anyway, guys, thank you to the chat, all of you, for joining in. Great conversation. Thank you so much to William for joining me. Thank you so much to Luke for also joining me. He and I discussed it, sort of playing this out with the reopening of Intellivision Collector, because I'm very, very happy that the IntellivisionCollector.com is the sponsor, as we call it. It's more of a friendship and a mutual sort of arrangement and appreciation for what each other do within the community, that we sort of help each other back. I call it a sponsorship, but it's just,
and it's Canadian, eh?
And it's Canadian, eh? But we're basically just supporting each other. So I'm very happy to see that site's back, and I'll be spending more money again. Hopefully Mama C signed off and she doesn't hear that part. But anyway, guys, once again, thanks for joining us. We'll see you next time. Take care.
Bye-bye.